A black slave, favorite of the Marquis, the emperor's crony, the husband of a white aristocrat. His name was Angelo Soliman. He was a man who had been sold, given, and found anew 3 times. A slave by birth, but not at all in spirit. Magdalena, however, was unwilling to listen to anyone. The white mistress had made up her mind. She would seal her fate with this man. "And what will the prince say?" her friend asked with fear. And only then, Magdalena trembled for a moment. The Prince of Liechtenstein, who was clearly interested in her, could become an insurmountable obstacle to her love. Angelo could not remember his real name. He was too young when disaster struck West Africa. His village was attacked by his neighbors, and the survivors were sold into slavery. The boy was called Mamadi. He was born in 1721. Small chiefs feuded with each other and did not shy away from trading people for profit. Mamadi was traded for a horse. Thus began his first sea voyage. The ship docked on the shores of Messina, where the boy's fate changed abruptly. He became a page to the Italian Marquess Cambini. From her youth, the Marquise had a taste for pleasure. She lived in luxury and gathered around her a real Oriental paradise. Parrots, rare flowers, girls in exotic dresses carrying sweets on trays. Among them was kind Angela, especially attentive to the boy. "I want to bear your name," he once told her. And so Mamadi became Angelo. On September 11th, 1731, he was baptized. The name Soliman was added to his name. The Marquis did not care much about the education of the page boy, but Angelo was bright. In a few months he learned Italian, later French. The house served French maids. German came next. He learned it from books. "What a clever little henchman," laughed and admired the Marquis. The Marquis gave dinner parties. At one of them, Angelo was noticed by Prince Johann Georg von Lobkowitz. He asked the Marquis to sell him the boy, promising a good price. And the deal was struck in 1734. So Angelo became the prince's valet. Lobkowitz turned out to be a good-natured man and treated Angelo almost like an adopted son. Together, they went to the court of the Austrian emperor for the first time. The luxury and splendor of Vienna amazed the former page. "You have a very curious companion," said the future Emperor Joseph II. When Angelo quoted Plutarch in pure Latin, the emperor was amazed. "This slave is also well read." The 18th century knew no peace. Lobkowitz participated in battles, and once almost died. Angelo pushed the prince away just in time. A cannonball whizzed past. Since then, Lobkowitz swore he would take care of the savior, and he kept his word. In 1753, dying, Lobkowitz bequeathed Angelo his freedom, money, and letters of recommendation. With these papers, he went to Prince Wenceslaus Liechtenstein, who took him under his guardianship. By then, Angelo had grown into a stately man. He attracted the interest of the ladies, noble features, well-mannered, exotic appearance. Although other blacks served at European courts, Soliman stood out. He held himself as an equal among the nobility, had money, prospects. Nothing prevented him from marrying. Until one day, he met Magdalena von Kellermann. Magdalena at first seemed unattainable. A young widow, a favorite of the prince, she lived in the best chambers of the palace. But Angelo saw in her not only external beauty, but also a deep sadness. Her gaze lingered on him more and more. "He's a slave," her friend whispered to her. "Think about it. It's madness." But Magdalena thought and decided. The principality had a strict order. All marriages were only with the permission of the monarch. But in 1768, Magdalena and Angelo broke the rules. In Vienna, while the prince was away, they were married in St. Stephen's Cathedral.
When Joseph II learned of this, he rushed to congratulate the couple. He meant well, but it turned out differently. Prince Wenceslas was furious. He demanded that Angelo leave the palace immediately. "We'll manage," Angelo promised his wife. "We'll be fine." He bought a house in Vienna. The emperor, realizing his share of the blame, accepted Angelo into the service, and Magdalena received a place at court. In 1772, a daughter, Josephine Soliman, was born to them. They lived in the Freyung neighborhood. Despite the gossip, the family was happy. Angelo achieved stability, joined the Masonic Lodge, and made friends in aristocratic circles. After the death of Magdalena in 1786, he vowed not to marry again. He devoted all his attention to his daughter. Josephine, the daughter of a slave and a noblewoman, married the military engineer Ernst von Feuchtersleben in 1797. Her son became a famous brewer, and Josephine herself closed her father's eyes in 1796. Angelo's story was told in his notes by his grandson. It was through these pages that posterity learned about a man who had made his way from a slave to a respected member of society.
In Vienna, he has not been forgotten. In 2013, a pedestrian and bicycle crossing to the Danube Canal was named in his honor, Angelo Soliman Vig. A collector's coin with his profile was also issued, which numismatists from all over the world dream of getting. That's how he lived, a man whose heart knew no bounds, the black husband of a white mistress, a story that defied time. Angelo Soliman's story is not just a journey from slavery to freedom, it is a journey to respect, acceptance, and love, despite the prejudices and boundaries of his time. He became a symbol of resilience, intelligence, and human dignity, preserving honor and kindness even in the harshest of circumstances. His name is in the walls of cathedrals, in the streets of Vienna, on coins, and, most importantly, in the memory of those who believe that history does not forget the strong.